doesn't wear itself out. It just uses enough to get from there to there. And George is a little like that, and particularly in that scene, you know, he doesn't, he lowers the window to let the bee out, but he only lowers it enough. Over here, please. She is all but retires, and she's been directing theatre, and so we lured her out of the time. I think it's she loved Let the Right One In, and the part of Connie Sachs is wonderful, and I think perhaps the fact that the scenes were with me made her feel comfortable to step back in. Yes, I mean, I plan to do something. I've been bringing up 2 boys the last 10 years, and they kept me busy. And so maybe a couple of years down the line, I'm working on a few things, and I hope to you know, get behind the camera, get something. Over here, please.
Thank you very much.
We would come in and we'd sit and we'd run the scene. We'd say, good, let's shoot. And we'd do 2 takes, and he would say, terrific, great, cut, moving on. And so I sort of did, I did my homework and wrote down the script and the scenes. I mean, you pretty much, you do that on pretty much every movie, but you don't often work with such great material. There were, to be honest, there were days when he would. I remember one occasion where we did a scene and we cut, and Thomas said to me, he said, "Yeah, it's okay, but it needs to be a little bit more." And I went, "I know what you mean." And I did the scene and it cut, and I said, "Was that it?" And he went, "Yeah." I don't know what that really means, but I guess I did. There's a lot of stuff that you do. The hardest thing about this is when you have to talk about a movie, when you promote a movie. You've got to suddenly, you have to analyze stuff you do intuitively. Right. That we didn't talk like this when we were doing the movie. It was unspoken sometimes, and there were days when we discussed a scene, and many days. But it's you do something. It's a sensation. You know, it's acting is not an intellectual process. It's a sensation. And there are, so there, you know, and then you kind of got to be objective, you've got to analyze it, you've got to break it down, what you were doing. And sometimes people they either want to, do they really want to know? Do they really want to know? Do they really want to know how you take the rabbit out of the hat? Do you know? And I had a question the other day, and someone asked me, they said, "What were you thinking at the end when you come in to the ballroom and you sit down at the very end of the film?" Now, we know and we've discussed that Smiley is there to tidy up, and it is temporary. And as you said, there are probably needles, you know, on that chair. He's not comfortable sitting in that chair, but he's absolutely prepared to do it to restore order. So we've discussed that. And then, of course, you have the technical side of it. I have to come into the room. I have to enter the frame at the right point. The camera is tracking in. I'm looking at people coming into the ballroom who are not there, who are not coming in. So I'm actually I'm looking at no one. And I have to be aware that at a certain point, that camera is over the table, and I turned my head. And this person said to me, what were you thinking in that scene? I said, I was thinking about the camera and the people that I was with. But you have just seen 2 hours of movie. So I'm thinking that, and you're reading in. You're actually putting you're putting. It's not my baggage, it's your baggage. Is that that was a long answer, but
yeah, it was about the size.